Hello, good morning. You're welcome once again to my channel. And please, as you all know, I'm Roberto Gyagbe by name, and I'll quickly like you to please drop. If you're watching me from Instagram, follow me at Roberto Gyagbe. If you're watching me from Facebook, follow me at Roberto Gyagbe. And if you're watching me from TikTok, I would really like you to follow me at Roberto Gyagbe. And if you're watching me here on Facebook, you're watching me here on YouTube, I'll quickly like you to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so that you can get videos like this from me all the times. So this morning we are going to be talking about the exploitation of mineral resources from Africa. Actually, what I mean is that the Western country exploiting Africa's mineral resources such as crude oil, gold, lead, what do they call it, diamonds, and all of that natural resources like that. So that's what we're going to be discussing about this morning. So before I'll continue, I really like you to remind you that we are still being colonized here in Africa. That is the reason why we are being exploited on a daily basis. And any country that is being exploited on a daily basis can never grow economically, because those mineral resources or natural resources that has been exploited on a daily basis, that is what the country is supposed to use to mechanize the country, to build the country, to industrialize the country. So right now, the mineral resources and the natural resources are being exploited out. So how do you now expect these African leaders to be able to carry out their duty and maybe develop the country to a kind of like a new modern day standard? It's going to be impossible, because where the country is being exploited and is being looted out on a daily basis. So that is for that. So I really like you to please just pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, and please like you to watch the video to the end. It's very, very important. It's for my knowledge, it's for everybody's knowledge. And I would really like us to really take note very, very carefully. First of all, I'd like to talk about these African leaders that have sold themselves to the Western colonialism. Actually, it's not majorly their fault. Some of them, it's not their fault. Why some of them, it's also their fault. Because you can't just start blaming the African leaders all the time. No. Some of them are being pushed to do it. You know, one thing about this Western colonialism is that once an African leader steps into power, or maybe they made an African leader step into power, they placed an African leader into power, then they gave the African leaders rules. Once the African leader refused to follow the rules, it's either the African leader gets killed or gets removed from the office. So if they can try to kill the African leader, they can't kill the African leader, they can just go ahead and the CIA, we just instruct the CIA to plot a coup against against the government by using the news media and the social media to blackmail the present leader in the post. So that's how they normally do it. Or if they don't do that, they will just go ahead and turn the citizens' attention against the leader so that the leader can be removed from the office, which is very, very bad. Now you can see how they are doing it now. That's how they carry out their duties if the African leader refused to obey or maybe to follow the instruction by the Western countries like America, Britain, Germany, Spain, Portugal, and what do they call it? France. Especially France, especially United States of America, especially Canada, especially Australia, even Japan, Israel, they are all looting from Africa on a daily basis. As you can see, now you can see how they are doing it. Okay, let's take a look at what was happening in South Africa as at the time of 1960s, 1970, the apartheid government that was in there. But as at that time when the white people was ruling South Africa. So they were ruling South Africa. They came over South Africa with empty-handed. They came over there and took over the lands in South Africa. Took over the lands over there. Right now in South Africa, even up to this very day, a South African black citizen can't even own a huge piece of land. It's just kind of like the minority white people in South Africa are the one taking over the 80% of South Africa economy. Why the majority, why the majority people in South Africa are only just taking over 20% of South Africa economy, which is very, very bad. I believe that South Africa is almost like 50 something million, 50 to 60 million. I believe so. So, and white people are not even up to 10% in South Africa, but still yet, they are taking 80% of South Africa's wealth. Yeah. The banks in South Africa are being owned by white people. The lands in South Africa, they have already taken they have already taken over the land over the 60s and 70s ago. Up to this very day, they are still holding the land. They are taking over the land, they are taking over the industry, they are taking over the market. Everything is being owned by the so-called white people that said they live in South Africa. So black people in South Africa, they don't even have any voice at all, because once you do not own your land, you will never have a voice in the country. Because once because once once in the country you do not have your own land, of course I don't think if you're going to be able to have any voice right there. Because land is where you go in there and build your farm in there, build your industries there, build your houses in there. You can even take out of the land and share to your family members. What if the land is not there? What are you going to share? What are you going to develop? What are you going to do? Nothing. So the white people in South Africa has finished taking over the lands in South Africa. So that's why I really, really love what Julius Malema is doing right now. That's the president of that's the president of Economic Freedom Fighter in South Africa, Julius Malema. I like what he's doing now. He's trying to gather the people, educate the people, let the people know what is really, really going on, and try to get the people's mind out of that mindset of mental slavery. That's what he's trying to do now, and he's becoming very, very successful in doing it. I believe by the special grace of God, next year when they are going to be heading the South African presidential election, I believe that he's going to win. Yeah, I believe he's going to win, because I believe that once he has been able to step into that office of presidency, he will be able to give out the land to the original citizens and to the original owners of the land without compensation. Just imagine what white people are doing in South Africa. They said the land they took away from black people. Now, if they want to give the land back to the black people, they has to be compensated. They said they demand compensation. That means we have to pay them or compensate them for them to give back the land which their fathers stole from the black citizens of South Africa back. Just imagine. So that's why Julius Malema said there will never be a compensation to any white man before taking the land back to the original black owners. No compensation, because you guys came over South Africa from all the way from Europe, all the way from Britain to come take over the economy. If not for the fight that the Nelson Mandela fought in the late 70s, 80s. Yes, of course, up to this very day, white people still could have been in charge, still ruling the presidency, still ruling the government in South Africa. Although they are still ruling it indirectly, but they could have just been still sitting down in the post up to this very day. So now you can see what Julius Malema is doing now. Julius Malema is trying to take away the land from the white peoples who took the land from the original black people in South Africa and give it back to the black people who took it. Because how do you expect a nation to grow, or how do you expect a majority of a nation to grow whereby the majority is only occupying just 20% of the economy? Just 20% of the economy. The majority is supposed to occupy 80% of the economy, while the minority will occupy the other 20% of the economy. No, it's not like that. White people have succeeded in occupying 80% of South Africa's economy, and while the majority black people that are supposed to occupy 80%, they are now occupying 20% of South African economy, which is very, very bad. How do you expect a black South African citizens to be rich, to be successful in business, to be very, very motivated, to be very, very successful in whatever he's doing? Whereby, if he's seeking for a land, if he's seeking for a fund, if he's seeking for whatever he's seeking for, he will not be able to find it, because they are the majority and they are the one occupying 20% of South Africa's economy. How can they grow? It's impossible. It's impossible for them to grow. That's why I'm really, really hoping And I'm really, really praying that Julius Malema should step on that post of presidency next year, or that post of South Africa presidency next year. I believe that by the special grace of God Almighty and by the support of the black South African citizens who are willing to vote Julius Malema in, I believe that he will be able to step in as president of this of South Africa next year, 2024. I believe so. And I would really, really urge my fellow African brothers and sisters who are living in South Africa right now, I would really, really urge all of you to please next year make sure you vote. You make sure you vote, because one of the problem with us, we black people, is that we are always complaining, saying, oh, this is bad, that's bad, that is bad, that is bad, that is bad. But majority of us do not come outside and vote. Yeah, majority of us do not come outside and vote. Although sometimes most of all these African states and most of all these African countries, you vote, you do not vote, it doesn't count. Votes doesn't count, because it was votes doesn't count. Votes doesn't count at all in some of these African countries. Votes doesn't count at all. Like, I can't argue that with you. Even here in Nigeria, sometimes votes doesn't even count. It is the person that the Western countries decide to place in power. That's the person who wins. Votes doesn't count. They don't care about the citizens' votes. This is not democracy. No. This is not democracy. The Western people will tell you that they are democratic, but their doings is not democratic. What I mean by that is that they will tell you that they are democratic people, but what they do for a living and what they do to other nations of the planet Earth is not democratic at all. This is oppression, and this is hegemony, and this is apartheid regime. That's what they do. They came over Africa here, exploiting Africa on a daily basis, colonizing Africa. So, my brothers and sisters, we are the only one who can get this done in Africa. We are the only one who can set ourselves free. We are the only one who can set ourselves free from these shackles of mental slavery and from these shackles of colonization and imperialism here in Africa. So, I really, really urge my brothers and sisters in South Africa to please come outside next year and vote for Julius Malema. When you vote for Julius Malema, I believe that Malema is going to bring a huge transformation to the South African economy, because the only way a huge transformation can come into South African economy is by South African majority black people should go ahead and own the 80% of South African economy, because majority cannot own just 20% of an economy, and minority own 80% of an economy, and you expect the economy to grow. It will never grow. That economy will always live in an apartheid regime. That economy will always be suppressed. The majority black people will always be suppressed. So I really, really urge my South African brothers and sisters to please come outside next year, 2024, and vote for Julius Malema. Julius Malema is going to take the South African presidency next year. No matter what the Western countries are going to try to plan to do to disbandle the election or to do whatever they want to the election, it will never work. And the only people that can make it not to ever work is we, Africa. We have to come outside and support Julius Malema next year, 2024. He's going to take that presidency and is going to bring a total freedom and a total liberation to the Africans that lives in South Africa. In fact, to the whole Africa as a whole, because right now the economic freedom fighters are already establishing their offices, their grants in various African countries. I really, really like that, because yesterday I watched the office that was being established in Liberia or so, and one other country. I like it. That's very, very good. Very soon, you will have the Economic Freedom Fighters office in all the whole of Africa country, so that Africans can start beginning to wake up and start rallying against this imperialist government and these colonial masters who call themselves democratic people, whereas what they are doing is not democratic. What they are doing to other nations of the planet is not democratic. So I really, really love Africa to wake up. We just have to wake up. This is what is going on in Africa. Ever since the white people stepped their foot here in Africa, Africa has never been the same again up to this very moment. We are still being colonized. We are still being exploited. We are still being imperialized every day. Our natural resources, our crude oil, our gold, our diamond, and everything is being exploited every day. South Africa has diamond. South Africa has gold, but the British miners are there mining the gold away from the South African land. Mining it away from South African land, all because you think that the black people of Africa cannot do anything to you, or because you think that the black people of Africa are not comparison to you, or cannot be compared to your military, or maybe we do not have the power to compare to your power. That is why they are doing it. But once we come together and liberate ourselves as black people, like liberate ourselves, organize ourselves, join our heads together to fight against this imperialists, we will be free, and we will be free. We will be free, and we will be free. If we come together, join our heads together, set ourselves free from mental slavery, stop the black hatred, and join our heads together to fight for freedom for Africa. Freedom for Africa. That is what we are going to be fighting for. And we are going to get there. We will get there. We have to let these white people know that we are going to get there. Freedom for Africa, freedom for Nigeria, freedom for Liberia, freedom from Burundi, freedom from Cameroon, freedom for Senegal, freedom from Mali, freedom for Niger, freedom from Cote d'Ivoire, freedom from Egypt, freedom for Morocco, freedom for Djibouti, freedom for Kenya, freedom for Tanzania, freedom for Namibia, freedom for DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, freedom for Sudan, freedom for Somalia, freedom for South Africa, freedom for Zambia, freedom for Zimbabwe, freedom for Lesotho. Yeah, freedom for all over African states. We are going to have our freedom, and we will have our freedom. We will surely get there. So I really like you to please, my brothers and sisters that live in South Africa, I would really like you to please support Julius Malema next year coming election. Malema must be placed as the president of South Africa. Next year coming election, whether the devils like it or not, Malema will win the election. We are the one that's going to make him win. We have to come outside and vote. You can't say that you are tired of what white people are doing to you in South Africa, and next year you sit down in your house without not voting. No, you have to come outside and vote. That is the only power you have now, is to vote. But because when you vote and he wins, he's going to step into that office and turn things around. The lands are going to be given to the original owners without compensation to any white man. Yeah, the lands are going to be given to the original black South African owners without compensation to any white man. So we are going to, so Africans are going to come out and vote Julius Malema next year South Africa coming election. You have to vote. You have to vote. You can't say that you are being oppressed in South Africa and next year coming election you sit down in your house without not voting. No, you have to go outside and vote for the right person out there in South Africa. Because when you go to South Africa right there, you will see in restaurants, black people are the one working in restaurants. Black people are the one working as bodyguards. Black people are the one working as just laborers in farmers. While the white people are out there owning the farm, controlling the farmers, like controlling the black people that are working in the farm. Is that not slavery? That is slavery in another style. That is slavery in another way, and that is slavery in another manners. Go to South Africa, you see right there that the black people are the one doing the bodyguards, doing the catering work, doing the working in restaurants and doing all of that jobs. Those minor jobs. Black people are the one in South Africa cleaning the gutters. Where are the white people right there? Why are they not doing it? No, because they are successfully in taking over the South African economy. By the time Julius Malema win next year, by the time Julius Malema win the presidential election next year, he's going to take over the South Africa economy and turn it around, give the land to the black original South Africans who actually own the land. The land has to be given back to them without no compensation to any white man. We are not going to compensate any white man over the land that was stolen from our fathers by their own fathers. No, it can never happen. The land is going to be given to the black people who originally owned the land in South Africa. Whether they like it or not, once he gives the land to the black people in South Africa, if the white people in South Africa wants to leave, you can leave. If you don't want to farm in South Africa anymore, go ahead and pack your load and go back to the British you came from. go ahead and go, because after all, you came here with empty-handed. You didn't come with anything. White people that are living in South Africa, white people that are living in South Africa right now, even all over Africa, they didn't come with anything. They came here empty-handed. Keep on looting the country, go and be using it to be investing in Britain, investing in other Europe, where they actually came from. So next year, I would like you guys to come outside and vote for Julius Malema to win the South African election next year. 2024 is going to step in there and win the election. So if you really find this message very helpful and very educative, I would really like you to please follow me at Roberto Gyagbe on Facebook, follow me at Roberto Gyagbe on Instagram, follow me at Roberto Gyagbe on TikTok, and if you're watching me from YouTube, follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so that you can always get videos like this from me all the time. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time on this same channel or on this page. Thank you very much. Please subscribe or follow me. Thank you very much. See you next time. Have a nice day.